At Home with Lucas here. So today we're going to be talking about the CMF Watch Pro. Yes, people, I got my hands on the Nothing smartwatch and I'm super excited to be putting this bad boy to the test. This thing has a 1.96 AMOLED display. It has 600 nits of brightness, so it should definitely be bright enough to go outside in full sun and still be able to read your watch. Not to mention the fact that it has 58 FPS. Yes, so the frame rate on this watch is supposedly really good. I've never really thought about a smartwatch in terms of frame rate, but it's almost as fast as an old school phone, being around 60 hertz. This thing also has an always on display, and for the price, that's pretty cool. A lot of budget friendly smartwatches don't have an always on display. This thing definitely checks off a lot of the boxes. It has an amazing Nothing app that goes along with it, so you're gonna be able to change your watch faces, you're gonna be able to customize some stuff, and obviously get firmware updates to this watch. It also has a microphone on board and a speaker, which means you can make phone calls. Yes, people, this thing will Bluetooth to your phone and you'll be able to make phone calls straight from your watch, just like all the other ones out there. So it has all the features that you think make it an amazing smartwatch, make it something that's gonna compete with, say, an Apple Watch. But I don't know, and I think that once we get through this review, we're gonna find out a lot more about this smartwatch, which may make you not want to buy it altogether. I've reviewed a pair of the Nothing earbuds and I like those, so this is my second Nothing review. I'm gonna slowly go through all their products, and I'm hoping that this one is as good as the earbuds. I love the earbuds, I thought they were really good. So we're gonna be putting this watch to the Adam Lucas test to figure out, is it something you should buy or maybe skip altogether? I'm here for you, so I don't have to waste your time buying or returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy right quick. So the top right, you have the name of the company, CMF by Nothing. This is, of course, Watch Pro. There's an image of what's to come in the box. That looks like the charger right there, but I could be wrong. This opens up like a book. Boom, there you go, very cool. You can scan to download the watch app right there. There's a little bit more information about the watch on here. Very, very cool. There's the watch band. There is the watch itself, I believe. And then there's more accessories over there. Okay, there's the charging cable right there. I don't know why, but I was expecting it to be wireless charging, some kind of puck or something. Then you have the watch band right here with a metal. I believe this is metal right here. It feels like it's metal. We'll check that out a little bit later on. This is the watch band, and then you have the logo right there, the Nothing logo, which is really cool. Super, super soft touch. This feels very premium, really nice feeling on the hand. All right, let's take a look at the creme de la creme, people. Dun, dun, dun. Woo, okay. Wow, definitely a little bit more dense and metal than I would have thought. This is really, really nice feeling in the hand. Definitely made out of aluminum. You have your speaker grill right there. You have your multifunction button right there. Very nice. Thing on this side over here, take a look at the back. Kind of looks like a pretty standard budget-friendly watch back. I've seen this before. There's the microphone port right there. The fact that the back of this is all plastic, I kind of wish that they would have just gone a little bit further with it and put metal back here of some sort, or maybe put something that just is not plastic. I don't know why. It just kind of feels a little bit on the cheap side, but once again, we're not going to know until we get this screen looked at. So the screen feels absolutely amazing. It definitely feels premium in the hand and definitely has a denseness to it, which is really cool. And you can see the bezels right there are not super big, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and get the watch band on there and get this thing powered up. The watch band went on super easily. I'm very happy with that, and I like the fact that the watch band is nice and straight, and it actually can move a little bit forward, which is rare for watches. Someone with a sensitive wrist like me, I enjoy a watch that's not going to basically be forced into this weird shape. Some watches come where they're basically like that at all times. Super annoying. So the fact that this flexes all over the place is really awesome. There we go. Now the real question is this thing going to function as a standalone? No, it's not. So once more, we have a cheap back, we have a cheap charger, and now we have a non-standalone watch right here. So this thing has to be paired to a phone in order to work. So that's already telling me that this thing is running on the cheap side for sure. So let's go ahead and pair this up with the phone and jump into that. So it's definitely showing that it's cheap and budget friendly, which is not a bad thing so far. Let's get into the UI. Okay, this is really interesting. It looks like there's a dedicated app just for the watch itself. So I just reviewed their earbuds, CMF by Nothing earbuds, and that had its own app as well. So it seems like they're really working hard and making individual apps. All right, there we go. We are fully connected. I'm liking this app. It looks very minimal, very simple, straight to the point. That is quite awesome. Okay, let's do the full sun outdoor test. So we're going to turn it basically into the sun, and there you go. That is on max brightness, and you can see it pretty well. It's not bad at all. It may be flickering on camera right now, but it's definitely not flickering in real life. That's kind of weird that it's flickering on camera. But there you go, it definitely, and there's direct sunlight right there. Tilt it down a smidge, and you can still read it, no problem.
Now,
Okay, this watch definitely did a good job of showing me information while I was on the spin bike. I didn't really have any problems, but my watch was not really moving around that much like if I went for a run, so the true test will be during that point. You definitely can get a good amount of stats, which is really cool. So they're pulling in the stats, but once again, this is all something you'd get from a very cheap, budget-friendly smartwatch. There's nothing about this that stands out. Okay, I took this thing out for a run, and the thing that I really wished it had was more color. Whenever I'd look down during my run, I could not really read what was going on. As you can see here, of course, there is some banding going on, which is causing it to look absolutely terrible, but I wish that some crucial things on this watch were in red, like right here. You could read that from a mile away. Okay, this watch is doing what a lot of cheap smartwatches do. They're actually not showing the weather on there. I've reset the watch, I've reset my phone, I've done a lot of things, and it just keeps saying that the app needs to tell the phone the weather. That little 2 lines with the circle is where the weather normally is, and I've changed the watch face and everything. So this is standard for budget-friendly, cheap smartwatches, and I'm finding that this is what this watch is a little bit more of than I would like. Okay, one of my biggest gripes with this watch is the fact that you can't have it set on auto brightness, so it won't automatically turn up the brightness. You have to actually go here and tap it, and what'll happen is you'll have it perfect for dark room setting, night setting, and then you get outside. And the biggest problem is if you get outside and you start an activity. So let's say you're going to start a run and you're in the house, you're like, perfect, I'm going out for my run. What'll happen is you'll get outside in the full sun and you'll literally not be able to see what's going on the watch. And then you think, oh, I can just do the swipe down and get to it. Nope, you cannot do the swipe down. Okay, let's talk about the notifications or text messages. So if you get a notification, you're gonna be able to click on it, you're gonna be able to read it, and that is it. You will not be able to reply to anything, not even an email. You will not be able to reply at all. So just understand that this is not a full-blown smartwatch. This is just basically a half of a smartwatch right here. So that is one of the biggest annoyances. I do like the fact that you swipe up to get to it, although it is funny because most watches you swipe down from the top to get to your notifications. So Okay, let's jump into the CMF watch app. So this is where this watch really shines, and it's too bad that they don't have some of this greatness in the watch itself. So it doesn't allow you to have this sort of feel of, I have a smartwatch that has apps and can do a lot of things. Nope. But this app is great. They did a very, very good job. But it is similar to a budget-friendly app in this sense right here. So this is exactly how budget-friendly smartwatches work. They have one setting at the bottom for you to start the exercise on your phone, which is hilarious because you can also start it on the watch. So I don't understand that aspect at all. And as you can see, it's not even loading. So let's go ahead and click on that. Not even loading. Okay, so this is where you can get more watch faces, which is really cool. They did a great job of providing you with a bunch of different watch faces, and I like the orange and black and white sort of theme with all of these. It's really, really cool. They did a great job, and they give you a lot of variety. I definitely found myself only sticking with one watch face, mainly because either the text would be too small or it wouldn't have the weather. So this is the one that I went with, and I thought this was the best one that they had. But once again, they have so many. They have their defaults right here. So whichever kind of watch face you want, you're pretty much going to find one that's going to fit your style and whatnot. You can also get updates through here. But once again, this is basically just a little skin over a budget-friendly smartwatch app. So it's really funny. It's like nothing basically said, we're just going to take a budget-friendly smartwatch, we're going to add a few things to it to make it a little bit better. We're going to take the app, we're going to add a few things, make it better, and you're done. So the thing that I found really cool was this stress right here. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's telling me my stress of using this thing and whatnot. So there is definitely information in here. Now, is it all 100% accurate? That's going to be something you're going to have to decide, because I can't tell you that for sure. I do know that the step counts definitely seem off, and the calorie count definitely seems off for sure. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly fitness band and a smartwatch, you probably want to skip this and go with something else. Most of these do not do a great job when it comes to tracking all this stuff. But this one definitely has a lot in here. You can do your sleep, of course. You can do training log right here. So this is basically the home page right here, and that's all you're going to get. And it is interesting that they want this app to be dedicated just to the watch, and they don't want to incorporate the earbuds or any of their other devices into one solo app. They just are like, nope, we're going to do this way, which leads me back to them just basically taking a budget-friendly smartwatch and adding a few things to it. So I'm going to give the app a 4.3 out of 5 stars. Okay, now let's talk about how you can make a phone call on this watch. So there actually is a full-blown dialer on here. You can go to the keypad and you can type in, and then you can make your phone call.
Welcome to Directory Assistance. For business or government listing, please press 1 or stay on the line.
So that's the speaker, which is pretty loud. You can actually really have a good conversation on here. There is no ability to press 1 or press 2. Indianapolis, Indiana.
Say the name or the type of business.
Bell Tire. So there's the microphone right there. It does a great job. Microphone is very solid. I'm happy with that. Speaker is very crisp, very clear. So there you go. That shows a lot of positivities about this watch. You have a great speaker, you have a great microphone, and you have the ability to make phone calls, which basically just means it connects to your phone and then allows you to call through there. So it's going to open the dialer on your phone and do all that stuff. So it's not a true standalone device at all. Okay, I've been using this bad boy for long enough that I think I have a full comprehensive review, and let's just start off with some of the pros. So one of the biggest pros is the fact that this has an always-on display, which a lot of budget-friendly smartwatches simply do not have. So the fact that you can glance down at one of 10. I believe there's 10 different always on displays. And mine, the one that I stuck with was this one right here. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Oh, it's quick. Okay. So the other thing is the accelerometer in here is super fast. So it really picks up exactly when you've made a movement, and it really shows the display. So that's really awesome. The other thing that's nice is the watch faces. They're very creative and very stylish, but the big downfall for that is the fact that they aren't super packed full of information. So they're kind of lacking in a lot of ways. And some of the text I think is just too small. Like this text right here, just way too small. So the watch faces are good, just not the best. The look of it is really cool. I like the simplicity of it. I like the look of it, but once you take it off, you realize it's quite lightweight and it's plastic all over the bottom. So it's basically just plastic on plastic on plastic with a little bit of metal that's very thin and doesn't really weigh that much. So it doesn't feel that heavy when you hold in your hand. You almost think that the watch band itself is heavier than the watch. Let's talk about the watch band. So it's comfortable. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really, really comfortable. But once you get into the user interface or lack thereof user interface, you start to realize that this is basically just a budget-friendly smartwatch that nothing has done a few tricks to make it a little bit more improved. So there are no apps. I don't understand why they don't have apps on here. It's really strange in my opinion. One of the biggest letdowns of this whole thing is the fact that it doesn't have a full-blown user interface. This is exactly like any cheap $30 smartwatch out there in terms of user interface. You have basically hardly any bits of information, and it's really, really silly. You push the button on the side here and you get into this long scrolling of things that you can do on the watch, and basically it's just like any other cheap smartwatch out there. It's going to do the same exact things, and for instance, you click on the weather, nothing else happens. So it's basically just like any other smartwatch out there that's under $100. The sensors on the back work. They do their job. The charging worked. I wasn't a fan. It was really annoying. The battery life on here, let's talk about the battery life. So the battery life is good if you turn a lot of the stuff off. Once I turned everything on and had it go basically into overdrive, it started to die really, really quickly. You could kill this thing in a matter of 2 days, 3 days. I don't think you can kill it in 1 day, which is good. So the battery life, I'm going to give a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The display is definitely solid. It has really good colors. It has really good blacks. It really does a great job of being super bright out in daylight. But once again, you kind of don't really have much to do with this watch. It's going to tell you the time, it's going to tell you the date, and a little bit of information, but that's kind of where it ends. So it's basically the best of the budget-friendly smartwatches. So if you're looking at not spending over $100, this is probably your best bet. With the app that goes along with it, that's absolutely amazing. You're going to find that this thing is great, but it is limited, and I don't understand why. I feel like they could have thrown some operating system on here and really just hit it out of the park, because a lot of the features on here are great. They just need apps. They need more. There needs to be more interaction with this watch so you can actually use it. I found myself literally just looking at it for date and time, and then some notifications. The notifications would come in sometimes. The weather would sometimes just not be there. Actually, most of the time, the weather would not be there. So I found that the connectivity to your phone, you had to sometimes go in and mess with it and get it perfect yourself, and that was kind of annoying. So all in all, I'm going to give this thing a solid 4.1 star rating out of 5 stars. I'm going to say that for a budget-friendly smartwatch, if you get this thing on sale, it's probably a great buy. It has features on it that make it very similar to a higher-end smartwatch. The display, the glass, all that fun stuff is really, really solid. But in my opinion, it just doesn't do enough. It didn't get me interested in exercising because of
The exercise apps are terrible. The ability to record your exercises sometimes just simply doesn't work. So solid star rating for a budget-friendly watch that has a few tricks up its sleeve to make it a little bit more appealing than the rest.
All right, there you go. That's the CMF Watch Pro. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely clickety-clack that like button. And if you want to join the Adam Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.